Hi there. Now that you're beginning to work on your oral history project, I just wanted to go over a few things with you. At this point, you should have read the information page, which you see here on your screen, and you also should have read the information that I posted about oral history. I specifically took some elements from my dissertation in which I used an oral history methodology to help you better understand it. So I realize there are a lot of references in there and things, but you can just kind of skim over those, but really look at what oral history is and why it's important, how it's differentiated from other forms of methodology and media. So what you're going to do then is select your person and be very intentional in selecting your person. It should preferably be someone whom you might consider an elder, someone 60 or older, but you can go down to someone as early as age 50. And it should be about a topic of interest to you. This could be a historic event. It could be something going on in society. It could be a skill that they have. Sometimes students have interviewed people who do quilting or canning, or make traditional bows and arrows, some kinds of skill that aren't really used as much today as what they have been in the past. And oral history is a great way to record some of those. Consider elders in your family if you have any. I realize that not everyone does, or other people from your community. Even if you have family who lives outside of Oklahoma, you can always Zoom with them and record that way, or you could do just an auditory recording on your phone, but make sure that they're aware that you are going to be recording because you're going to be transcribing a little bit. So again, be very intentional in whom you select for this. I suggest not asking a parent. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but someone who is older with experiences that you're not familiar with is a great selection. Also, it's important to remember that sometimes people aren't asked to talk about their experiences, and they may feel honored that you're asking them. They also may not be willing to speak about them. This is a situation in my own family with boarding schools. Something that my mother and her father would never, ever discuss their experiences in Indian boarding schools. So that goes back to being intentional with your person. Utilize this score sheet. When I say description of participant or interviewee, I don't want you to just say my grandpa is 76 and he was wearing overalls. Tell me a little more about the personality. Maybe what your connection or relationship is with the person. Give physical descriptions, but also personality characteristics. And then when you describe the setting of the interview, if you're doing this via Zoom, it's probably not going to be as detailed as if you are in the room or on the porch or somewhere outside with your participant. But the setting can be so important in the ways that it impacts your interview with them. If you're sitting on the front porch or at the kitchen table or in the living room, it's more likely to be relaxed and open if you're a place where your participant feels pretty comfortable. If it's somewhere else in a more formal setting, then that can really change the tone of the interview. So it's important that you describe that setting. Now, when you do your double-spaced transcription of the interview, this could be all from one section, from 1, 2, or 3 minute part of the interview, or you could skip through and do a few selected elements or excerpts throughout that you find particularly important and interesting. 20 points, your explanation of how this research fits into social studies. Consider elements of social studies beyond history. Consider language, culture, geography, people, climate. There's so much to social studies. And we tend to often only think of social studies as history and geography. But I hope at this point you realize it's much more than that. I am expecting a robust explanation here, a robust paragraph, not just a sentence or two. This is an important part. And then your reflection. This may be very, very personal. Remember that a reflection is never a how-to. It's not first I did this and then it's not going to go chronologically. A true reflection is going to look really inside yourself. How did you experience this? How do you feel about your experiences? What do you feel about the topic now? Has this changed, enlightened? Has it saddened you or disillusioned you? Or, you explain, or is it something that you want to begin doing? Maybe you want to begin gardening in particular ways that your participant does, or something like that. So I expect you to use appropriate grammar and usage in your writing and in your interview. An exception to that would be if you're interviewing a person who use a very colloquial dialect, and they use a lot of ain't and I done and I seen and things like that. If they're doing that, then it's fine for you to do that as well, because you want that participant to be comfortable. And then you're going to present it to us, and within 1 minute of 7 minutes means 6 to 8 minutes is your presentation time. When we do this, you're going to also give a brief summary of how effective your presentation was, basically. But really utilize all this information here and be intentional. If you have any questions about who to select for a participant, maybe you've got it narrowed down to 2 or 3, let me know. Or if you're really, really struggling with finding someone, let me know and I may be able to help you with that. But it's best if you can find someone that you know, even if it's not someone you know really well. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'm really, truly excited to see what you come up with. This is one of my very favorite projects that students do. So enjoy and good luck on your interview.